Odds are, if you're watching this video right now, you're already aware of Wagyu beef. Now, I have been super fortunate in the past year to work with both American and Japanese Wagyu. The Japanese Wagyu is imported by a company named the Seasoned Carte. You can find them on the seasoncarte.com. And we first started working together about a year ago when I was looking to source Japanese Wagyu beef here in the States. We did a very special dinner with that, and you can check that video out as well. And that began our relationship. Since then, we've been working together on several different things, and occasionally I'll get a really beautiful package in the mail and get to play around with some cool meat. Recently, the Seasoned Carte sent me this Wagyu tri-tip, and I have not had a chance to mess with tri-tip in a little while. The cut is a really nice mixture of a roast and steak, and I'm thinking about how I want to prepare this. So we know with the Wagyu, there's a lot of fat involved. In order to retain as much of that fat and flavor as possible, we're going to do a reverse sear. So I'm going to season up this tri-tip and pop it into an oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. First, I will put in a probe thermometer, and I'm going to monitor the temperature closely, and as soon as it hits 95 degrees internal temp, I'm going to pull that out. Now, it's important when you are temping your proteins to go to the thickest part possible. So we can see here at the bottom of the tri-tip, it's tall, but over here there's more protein around it, and this is the deepest part of the steak, so that's where I want to insert my thermometer. We're gonna bring that up over the course of 10-15 minutes to that 95 degrees internal temperature, then pull it out, get a little bit of butter into a screaming hot cast iron skillet, and then carefully lay the tri-tip into the skillet, getting a good hard sear on there. Then we'll flip it over, do a little bit of basting with some fresh thyme, more butter, and we're gonna get a super amazing crust that's gonna build up on the outside of this steak and not overcook it. Again, monitoring the temperature closely. Once it hits 120 degrees, we wanna get it out of that heat and get it resting. But I have all this beautiful butter and fat and fresh thyme in this cast iron skillet. What's a guy to do? We're gonna make a pan jus. Making a pan jus is super simple. We're gonna add a little more butter, and we're gonna add some red wine. All that into the skillet, break the fond up off the bottom of the skillet, and let that wine reduce by half. Now we're also going to add in some beef stock, but since I don't have any beef stock handy, I'm gonna use a little bit of beef stock paste and a little bit of water. Watch as I draw the wooden spatula across the bottom here, and you can see the increased viscosity of the jus. Once the jus is thick enough, we're just going to pour that through a mesh strainer to get the thyme sprigs and any other thick pieces of fond out of it. Now that the jus is all done, I could pour this over top of the tri-tip, and that would be amazing. But let's take it next level. What if I took inspiration from a warm bacon vinaigrette, and instead we use this jus as the basis of a vinaigrette? Mind-blowing. Let's do it. So let me go ahead and give you the recipe for the bacon vinaigrette, and then I'll tell you how I made it into our jus vinaigrette. We're gonna need 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 slice of bacon chopped fine, 3 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, 1 shallot minced, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of West Virginia maple syrup, and 3 tablespoons of oil. So that's to make the bacon vinaigrette. Let's talk about how I converted it into this jus vinaigrette. So I noticed with the jus we have reserved, it looks to me like about 16 tablespoons, and I like to shoot from the hip. So we're just gonna double this recipe and make it work. So we're gonna use the 16-ish tablespoons of jus left over, and that'll take the place of our butter and our oil. Then we can omit the bacon. Instead of 3 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. The balsamic will really play nicely with that rich umami of the Wagyu tri-tip. We can omit the shallot. We're gonna go ahead and put in our 4 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and then about 2 tablespoons of local West Virginia maple syrup from Family Roots Farm in Wellsburg, West Virginia. Whisk all that together, and we have an amazing salad dressing like none you've tasted before. Now we're going to assemble our salad, and we're going to use some Five Springs Farm local field greens. We're going to chop those up, put them in our bowl, and add in some chopped carrot, some cherry tomato, cucumber, whatever you like in your salad. But I really thought it would be nice to add some blueberry because I think those blueberries are going to go really, really well with the beef. Put all that together, carefully lay some of our tri-tip on top, and drizzle a little bit of that jus vinaigrette over everything, and you are into lunch, my friends. So once you guys get down the basics of cooking, this is a great example of how you can riff off of it or add new ideas, substitute different ingredients, and that's going to take your cooking to the next level. If you want to get yourself some of this Wagyu tri-tip, I'll put a link in the description below. And hey, don't forget to smash that subscribe button.